What is up, guys? This is Adrian Hatcher, your host for the Playoff of Life podcast, and we are back. We are back for the Christmas spirit spreading around. I've been a big supporter of the Christmas spirit lately, and there's been some negative energy around, and we're trying to get rid of that today. We're gonna have so many different topics, but the first thing I got to get out the way is the updates for the podcast. For the first episode, I did talk about how I wasn't completely sure on how everything worked since I was getting used to the new equipment and Anchor itself. But I did do some research. And if you are following me on Anchor, you can leave a voice message. It's going to be on the public profile page. You can just click on the message tab, leave your voice message, and I will greatly appreciate anybody that leaves a message, whether you're just giving motivation, you want me to talk about a certain topic, and just letting me know how you feel about the pod in itself. All of that is greatly appreciated. And you can follow me on 7 different platforms. Those platforms are Spotify, Anchor, Breaker, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, and Copy RSS. Now, the last 2, I don't know. I've never used those pods. I didn't even know they had a podcast platform. But if you are on there, or if this encourages you to go on there and check it out, please follow me on that too. That would be greatly appreciated. So with that out the way, it's time to get this podcast going. So we're going to start off with the very first topic, which I told you in the last pod we were going to get started with. My Chicago Bulls. As I told you before, I'm a big basketball fan, and my favorite team is the Chicago Bulls. And sadly, we are not in the playoff picture right now. Our overall record is 12-19. Our home record is 6-10. Our away record is 6-9. Luckily, we are on a 2-game winning streak. Those games that we won, I believe, were against the Pistons and the Wizards. 2 very good, very consistent games from our team. Now, the next game that we play is actually today, December 23rd, against the Orlando Magic, which I do believe we should win this game, considering the more consistent play that we've had over the last few games. You know, Zach is becoming ultra efficient with the shots that he's been taking. I've been noticing he's been going to the rim better. Lauri Markkanen has been stepping up for us. The overall team has been stepping up. Thomas Satoransky, oh my God, these last few games, he looks like a completely different player than he did at the very beginning of the season. And you know that I do believe there comes a time where you need chemistry to really build on it. But for example, the teams that we played before the Orlando Magic that we're going to play today were the Detroit Pistons. The final score for the Detroit Pistons and the Bulls was 107-119. That was a very convincing win. Like I said, Zach was ultra efficient. Lauri stepped up. He's been playing so great the last few games. Completely different person too. Chris Dunn, I got to give a shout out to Chris Dunn. His defense has ranked him as a potential defensive player of the year. Like there's no doubt about it. If you watch his play, especially when they're running the pick and roll, Dunn consistently is able to get easy steals that lead to fast break, that leads to easier points for the rest of the team. Other than his overall defense, his motivation to get to the rim has been so solid. I mean, he'll take the 3-point shot if he's open, but majority of the time, he'll go to the rim. And I feel like a proud dad watching Chris Dunn do what he knows he's best at, and the acclamation that he's had since being inserted into the starting lineup. Because right for the foreseeable future, we still won't have our 2 small forwards until maybe January. Maybe we may start the new year with a starting forward and a backup small forward, but Chris Dunn has taken that small forward spot until Otto Porter gets back from his injury, and Chandler Hutchison I believe is cleared of his injury. I don't know. I'm guessing he's still having soreness or pain, but his injury report usually shows day to day. So he may have already been cleared, but maybe the team is just being precautious about putting him back out there, especially since we're going to have the Christmas break leading into the new year. So that's totally understandable. The way this team has been playing the last few games, I would be okay with Chandler Hutchinson not coming back. Like, unless you just want to give him some good run before the start of the new year. Otto Porter, he's been dealing with that foot injury. I mean, Otto, get back healthy, get back safe. We want you to play so badly, man. I miss Otto. I know at the very beginning of the season, many Bulls fans were looking at Otto and thinking, why did we pay all this money for this man? And I know last year was a small sample size as to what he could bring to the team, but I still feel like without the injury label put on Otto, he is such a consistent player, not only for this team, but for his overall like leadership. I mean, have you seen his play like at the very beginning of the season? And if you compare it to what we had last year, it was two different players, but the whole team was new. It was a whole new concept. You know, there was not a power struggle, but at one point in time, I did believe Zach LaVine was our second best player, and Lauri Markkanen was born to be our franchise player. But right now, it's not looking like that. Is that bad? It depends on the perception. All I want at the end of the day is wins. And I know the talent we have. And right now, Zach, he should be in the All-Star game if the Bulls had a better record. But they don't. They're 12-19, which is not the worst record, considering that tonight's game, if they win it against the Orlando Magic, they will jump from the 10th spot to the 8th spot in the Eastern Conference, just like that. The game right before the Christmas break will jump us ahead of two teams that I already feel we're better than, which is the Orlando Magic and the Detroit Pistons. That's encouragement. That should be angels singing right now, because I think the Bulls can definitely be in the playoff race right now. And we don't even have our full lineup. That is what I've been harping on. We don't have our full lineup. When we do have our full lineup, the chemistry isn't there because of injuries. But when we have a full lineup and we give it time, we see what the team can produce. So on to the next thing, though. Denzel Valentine. Come on, y'all. Denzel Valentine has showed up for us these last few games since he's been inserted into the lineup, since Jim Boylen has taken the necessary time to let Denzel get back into game shape. Because at the beginning of the season, he was looking pretty gassed. He was looking like he was a step slow, but he's taking that time. He's gotten into game shape. He has been balling. He is one of our most consistent three-point shooters. With the volume he's starting to shoot, I want him to shoot that ball if he's open. I really do. That's no deterrent to any other player on the team. But if it's not Zach, Lauri, Otto when he gets back, Denzel, and Thomas Satoransky, I really am hesitant to believe that shot is going in on a consistent basis. Players like Ryan Arcidiacono, I love him. I love his grit. But he has those games where he's being inserted. He's not playing enough minutes to get in a really great rhythm. I forgot, imprinting the tickets, when you get into a train and they're trying to determine whether or not you belong on the train. And they started singing. Ah, man. See, that's why I have to watch this movie again. I put it as my top 5 because it brought it back really good memories. And then I did watch a YouTube scene of when the boy first got on the train, and it was such beautiful choreography. The music was on point, and I believe that the Polar Express, when I first watched it, I was maybe about 10. So I saw it late, but I know for a fact they were doing like a Christmas marathon that day. So I just decided to watch it and I loved it. You can actually check your local theaters at your movie theater. A lot of the times, I don't know how many people notice, but you can actually look up local times at your movie theater and see classic movies like black and white. Around this time, it's going to be Christmas. But black and white movies, old movies like back from the 1980s, 90s, just movies that have stand the test of time and that a lot of people love to see during the holidays. Home Alone is probably one of those movies you can watch at your local movie theater and make it like a family night if you wanted to. So please check your local listings at your theater. See if you can catch one of those. They do like special times during the night. I know that just because I went to one before. So check it out. Check it out. But the Polar Express was my number 5. My 4th favorite Christmas movie was Santa Claus Coming to Town. Runtime was about 51 minutes. I did watch it again, and I didn't realize it was that short. With the amount of plot that they put into that movie, it is a very short movie. The director of Santa Claus is Coming to Town was Julie Bass and Arthur Rankin Jr. Both directors are mainly known for The Hobbit, Thundercats, and The Little Drummer Boy, which was going to be one of my top movies, but I don't really remember The Little Drummer Boy that much, so I'm guessing it didn't make that much of an impact. But the synopsis for this movie was: a mailman reveals the origin of Santa Claus, telling the story of a boy left at the door of the Kringle family. He grows up to want to make and give toys to his local town, but must face obstacles. A man named Burgermeister and an evil wizard named Winter. Okay, so that plot is genius. It sounds ridiculous when I read it like that, but it just also sounds like a really good movie, and I wish I would have watched it again just to get like a better memory of it. But I do remember as a kid, I thought they looked weird. They looked more of like they were like a stick figure type of movie. I remember Burgermeister. I remember the wizard. He kind of looks like the wizard off the Adventures of Finn and Jake. If you think about it, somebody check that for me. I just remember having like good overall feelings watching the movie, even though I thought the characters were kind of weird. The overall plot kind of kept me invested. And it's a mailman. Like, how many Christmas stories do you get about a mailman saving Christmas? Who has it? Like, he's a mailman, but there's more to it. So if you haven't seen the movie, do check that out and find out the secret about the mailman. My 3rd movie is another classic. This one I did watch after I jotted it down. I did get a chance to watch A Charlie Brown Christmas. A Charlie Brown Christmas. Come on, it's Charlie. I mean, you can't beat that. The director was Bill Melendez, mainly known for Looney Tunes specials, Charlie Brown content, other Charlie Brown movies. This man makes cartoon movies the best it can be. The Charlie Brown Christmas movie put some tears in my eyes. Like, the ending specifically is what really got me involved in the movie. The synopsis for the movie was depressed at all the commercialism around him, Charlie Brown looks for a deeper meaning to Christmas. I didn't catch that as a kid. And now that I've watched it, I do catch it. I catch how we've literally live in a society, just like the Charlie Brown Christmas movie, where we're more centered to materialistic things than what we love, which is our family, friends, companionship, communication. Those were like those are what the heart of Christmas is really about. Giving and showing love to the people and the things you care about, instead of I gotta spend my whole check to be able to afford everybody in my family's Christmas present, because I want them to understand how much I care about them by buying them something they'll love, to, for like a couple weeks or months or even till a year, but until next Christmas. And then the expectation is I gotta top that. I gotta top that, because only buying things is gonna show people how much I love them. That's not true. So this movie is very relevant to today's time, and it may stand the test of time in the future, because we still deal with commercialism to this day. It's just such a big money market, to the point where like no one is going to tell you outside of outside in the real world that you shouldn't buy this at the mall, or you shouldn't spend all this money, because we live in a business versus business world. Everybody's trying to make money. So, but that doesn't mean it should diminish the heart and the love that you put in for Christmas. That you should focus more on the people that you care about and the people that you want in your life. That's really what Christmas is about. And then if you want to make your own determination on Christmas, if you still want to buy something for somebody, then do that. But be more conscious about what Christmas is about and teaching others what Christmas is about. Because you don't have to spend over $100 to show somebody that you care. Okay. My second movie, this one is very close to my heart. Not a lot of people have seen it. It hasn't been like a big time movie that they replay on TV, on basic cable all the time. So you may have never heard of it, but Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. That movie is amazing. Okay, if you've never seen it, Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer made me want to eat fruitcake. And I'm not going to spoil, if you haven't seen it, I'm not going to spoil why, but if you watch the movie, you'll just kind of get it. Kind of like how the title says, Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. That's basically what the movie is about. But of course, there's other ideas and other things that play into it, especially like who Grandma is, what she does for a living, her grandson, and just like the different people in the movie. They all have their own special moment where it just gives you an awareness about Christmas. And that's what I like. A Charlie Brown Christmas was kind of like trying to send a message of don't let commercialism steal Christmas. And Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer, it's more of just like the joy that Christmas can bring to your life when you believe in something so vividly, and seeing like love around you like on a consistent basis. But please go watch that movie. It was directed by a guy by the name of Phil Roman, who's known for The Simpsons, King of the Hill, Garfield, just other classic. I know people have seen The Simpsons. So if you like The Simpsons, then maybe you'll find some elements of The Simpsons in this movie. But the synopsis for the movie was: a youth embarks on a journey to find his missing grandmother and prove Santa Claus is real. So there you go. Check it out. I believe it's free on Google or YouTube. You may be able to see it on YouTube. If not, just leave a voice message of how you can see it, and I actually like update that if I have to. Or just tell me how you felt about the movie if you were able to see it for free. I know it's excuse me, y'all. I know it's on Amazon Prime, but of course, if you don't have Amazon Prime, you probably won't be able to see it. But check it out, y'all. Give it a chance if you do get a second. And the number one top 5 Christmas movie. I cry every time I see this movie. It's ridiculous. It is Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas. So when I was a kid, I had VCR tapes, and I always talk about how I had a trash bag full of VCR tapes, and my mom literally bought me so many that I would